Hello and welcome to Three Questions with. I got my friend Michelle with us from Benchmark Office Systems. Hey, Michelle, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. Thanks, Kevin.
So
Thanks for having me.
Let's start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your business. What do you do?
Yeah, so we're an office equipment and service solution provider. Been in business for 21 years now, and we sell, lease, provide service for copiers, fax machines, printers, scanners, software solutions, workflow, anything that people need to run a business around paper.
So I was kind of chuckling thinking about you this morning when we were getting ready to do the show, because I remember in my corporate days how frustrating things could be because it's hard to stay up on technology. So someone would come in and like, Kev, why are you doing it this way? Workflow. Michelle, I don't know a better way. This is the only way I know. So help educate me on how I should be doing this. I was in one office where a guy's like, oh, I need to print this. He literally got up and went to another computer. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, this is the one that's attached to the printer. And I'm chuckling. I'm like, it's Wi-Fi. You want me to set it up while I'm hanging out with you? But
Right.
sometimes you just don't know better. So you can help people understand how to make things run more efficiently.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff, what we can do is, you don't know if you could have a better solution in terms of what do I have, what am I spending, how could I operate better? So that's what we help people with. Just understanding, first of all, what do I have? What am I spending? Could I do something better? Am I on lease? When did that lease expire? So on and so on. So we help people understand first what they have, how they use it, and if there's something better. Like, is there a paper intensive process that you currently do, whether it be around accounts payable, accounts receivable, HR, manufacturing? What is that process? And anytime people scratch their heads and say, isn't there a better way to do this? Or isn't, couldn't I take steps out of this? Why are we printing to then turn around and scan? Why don't we do this better? So that's what we help people with.
Plus, one of the things I saw in my corporate days was just developing a budget too, because we spend money and then we try to keep equipment too long. It's like, oh, Michelle, that's the slowest printer, slowest thing in the world, but
Yep.
we just didn't budget for it. So can you help people kind of, hey, this is what you have, this is what you're going to need to replace in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Can you help people with that?
Yeah, we can definitely help people with that, and even understanding what they have. And I was just explaining this to somebody else here, that sometimes if you buy $100 machine, you say, well, it's $100 and who cares, throw it away. But really what's happening is, what's the operating cost of that machine? And sometimes if you spend a little bit more, it's cheaper to run. So hence it won't cost you as much in the end. So in the end, if you look at a year's cost, a larger machine that would help the business more might be more upfront, but cheaper to run in the long run or a short run.
I see that all the time. We try to buy that cheaper equipment and you forget about the printing, the cartridge cost.
Yep.
It's great. Like I said, I spent $100, but then I spent $300 a share on ink. So I would have been better off getting something a little nicer that I wouldn't have spent $300 on ink for. So.
Right. And we get calls all the time from people that say, oh, I can't stand these throwaway printers. I keep on burning through them. And when I ask people, well, what do you mean about burning through them? Well, I buy a new one every 3 to 6 months. It's like, well, wait a minute, stop. That doesn't make any sense. You're just filling up landfills. So let's stop and think in terms of what you're doing, what you're using it for, what the volume is, and if there isn't a better solution. And then they turn around later and say, oh, geez, I wish I had done that earlier. I just wouldn't be throwing money out the door all the time.
So Michelle, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more?
Either email, call. So phone number is 603-890-2474. We're in Londonderry. Or they can email me. It's probably better to call first so we can have a conversation. But it's McManus, so McManus at benchmark-office.com.
Michelle, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to call the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
All right, good to see you. Thanks, Kev.